Another interesting feature in moho is particles. For bringing particles, you have to bring a vector and draw or import image or anything that you want to use it as a particle for class, for anything that you want. In this case, I create a simple arrow to showing you direction in. It's better to bring it at the center of your layer, and then you can select your layer and bring it anywhere that you want. Okay, the important thing for particles is this, that you have to double click on it. As you can see, we don't have any package for our particle. So you can add a particle from here. This is a main tool that you can insert it. Insert particle. It's a folder that you double click, we have a particle system sitting here. For defining which object you want to use as a particles, you have to click and drag this layer arrow under the particle layer and then select the particle. As you can see, in this case, the particle is creating or throwing your arrow. Nice. This is particle system. So you need a layer, draw or insert any vector or image that you want, bring it in a particle folder here, bring a particle folder from here, and then bring it underlay the folder. Then don't forget, select the particle folder and you can see the particles. For settings, double click, and as you can see, we have a particle sitting here. So we have, I think it's better to select a layer, make it select it, make it smaller, and then don't forget to change stroke to that. This is our particle. And be careful, I was in animation and I changed it. I changed the animation. Don't forget to be in a 0. So select out of the keyframe and delete. If you want to edit something, be careful about that. Don't be in animation mode. Go into the 0 mode. No animation. Then for seeing the particles, you have to select the folder, and that's it. If you play it again, you can see our particle here. Double click for changing the particles. Particle count. You can change the count here, the particle count that you want to render. To better understanding the particle, make sure the preview particles, the particles that you can see in the preview, and the particle count, the number of the particles that you can render, make sure they are the same, because I want to see exact particle that I want to render. If you have a not very good system, you can change them again. Don't forget to apply. Then come back, and here are particles. Count. Or you can make it a smaller number and a previous smaller number and apply. And here in particle. Nice. Don't forget to apply. 10, 10, it's good for both of them, and apply. Then come back and play again. Lifetime frame. And as you can see, the arrows are disappearing from here, from the frame 24. If you want to, your arrow or your particle has a long life, for example, I want to disappear from 100 frame. After 100, don't forget to apply from beginning. As you can see, the arrow was going down, and after frame 100, they will be disappear. Nice. This is a lifetime based on frames. Source widths. It's better to change the source widths here. As you can see, we have a more source widths. Apply. And as you can see, apply it. The source of your particle are growing. And as you can see, we have more particle that's flowing from your source. You can make it smaller if you want. Oops. Double click the particle and apply. And this is again our source. Or you can change your source height, something like this. Or interesting thing is the source depth. You can make it in a 3D. Apply. To better seeing that, you go into the orbit and click. And as you can see, we have a 3D arrow. Play it. As you can see, we have a 3D arrow. Okay, this is all about 3D. So you can change the source width or height, X, Y, or Z, actually. The velocity is actually a speed of throwing your particle. Apply, as you can see, we have more speed of boom, boom. The power of throwing that. It's the velocity. Velocity is spread. It's a random names for our velocity. You can increase that. We have more random for each particle. Damping, it's damping the this velocity, as you can see. It's damping the velocity. And here's the direction. You can change the direction of your particle. Direction, apply. And as you can see, you can change the direction of your. And the acceleration is actually, you can, it looks like it gravity. For example, the particles, if you change in this direction, it go and come back in this direction again. Don't forget to apply it. And as you can see, they are going. You can change the direction of your throwing in this direction, but acceleration, it looks like a gravity and absorb all of your particle in this direction. So it's a gravity and it's a direction for throwing your. It's throwing in this direction, but the acceleration will absorb them in this direction. You can change the speed of that, or you can change the rate of that acceleration here. It's very important on at the start. It means if you start, it's the particle is on full speed at the start. Yeah, I want to full power at the start, or if you want, you can. It's bringing from slow and then going to the fast. Orient particle, you can see it. It's orient the arrow. If you untick that, it does not change the orientation of your arrow. You can see this. So it's nice. Free floating is if you tick that, it's apply and okay. For example, let's change the direction exactly in here and direction at the up. I want to add the animation to our particle. Going here, it's a layer. You can select it. And sorry, go to the 0, then go to the 1 for creating animation. We can see a simple animation. For example, here, more fast, and you can see the animation. Oh, it has to come here. Yeah. Okay, I want to increase the count of that to better see that. Count more, preview more. And as you can see, because of free floating, when the particle, look at this. For example, when the particle throwing in here, it's maintaining position and continue its way. But if the sitting is turning, we turn it off, free floating. Actually, the particles are locked to our source. Coming here, and as you can see, our particles are locking to our source. And for example, if you turn on the free floating, a particle that's flowing from here and exiting from your source continue its way and fall down. But if we untick the free floating, the particle, when you animated your source, are moving with your source and are not free floating. Change the animation off. Another option is, okay, it's nice, evenly spaced. You can tick that to evenly spacing our particles, randomized playback. And that's it. These are simple particle system of your of the moho. And you can go into the 0, and you can assign more than one object. You can create a vector, this vector, and create another star, and that's it. Select the particle, and we have the particle system with both objects. And here, if you do particle, you can use the base layer as a source. It's this layer. It's using that layer, for example, arrow only for your source. And as you can see, you have just arrow. If you have a lots of objects, the object that are near to the folder, it's defining as a source if you use a base layer as a source. But if you turn it off, any object that are in the particles folder is in the particle. You can see them. That's it. Hello, my friends. To continue these tutorials on YouTube, subscribe us, like us, and hit the bell icon. And now you will be alerted about all of the amazing videos that we release.